My 44 female mother wants to meet me, 24 male, after 8 years and I don't know what to do. Original post. So she was dating my father when he got her pregnant and left her after she told him she is pregnant. I don't remember much, but my grandparents raised me. She would visit once a week. She would take me to go shopping, get me chocolates, etc. Grandparents died when I was 6, so my mom took me in. She was married and never knew that she was married and had a baby, but I didn't think too much about it. Growing up, I was neglected. All her love and care was for my half-sisters. Her husband abused me emotionally and physically. He would yell at me for little mistakes like if I spilled some water, wake up late, and my mother was a bystander and would sometimes participate. She always told me about how my father left her when she needed him the most and how I almost ruined her life. This was all in front of her husband, and lastly, he would kiss her and tell me how he saved her. Well, I was just 12 at the time. I would get hurt and jealous every day by seeing how they would treat their daughters with love and affection. I never expected her husband to be my father, but she was my mother. How could she be so cruel to me, her own child? She always guilt-tripped me by saying she's the one who's feeding me and is giving me shelter to live. I was a bright student in school and still am, but she never got happy for my progress. I thought if I studied hard, she would love me because I loved her so very dearly. But I realized too late, no matter what I did, she would always show me where she stood. So when I was 16, I got in touch with one of my father's sisters through my mother's childhood friend. She knew how my mother treated me and she wanted to help me, I guess. We would hang out more and she finally asked me how I was living with my mom. I just broke down and told her everything. She said that she knew and that's why she wanted to help me and asked me if I wanted to come and live with her. And I said yes. 1 month had passed and I was ready to move in with her. So I got home, she was in the kitchen and I asked her to come upstairs when she's done. She came home late and the conversation goes like this. She, what do you want now? Me, can I ask you something, Mom? She, what? Me, do you love me? She, of course. Me, then why don't you stop your husband when he abuses me? She, that's me. Let me finish, Mom. You hate me, don't you? That's why you let him abuse me for years, and you never showed any affection, but you love your daughters. You attend their parents' meeting, but you never showed up at my school. You even sent me to another school. That's how you love me. Did I do something wrong? Tell me. She, how could I hate you? You're my son. Me, then why do you hurt me so much? I can't show you how much it hurts whenever you choose your husband over me. It feels like my heart will stop beating every single time that you choose to hurt me, but I loved you. I tell myself that one day you will love me, but it was my fantasy which came to an end. She, he cares for you. I interrupt. Me, look, you are choosing him again. Mom, I always chose to love you even though I always get hurt by you in return, but this time I choose to not get hurt anymore. I know you don't give a damn about me. That's why I'm moving in with my aunt. She knows her. And I expect you to at least respect my decision and let me go live my life. She was just standing there, didn't say a word after I told her I'm moving in with my aunt. The next day I moved out when my mother and her husband was at work. I didn't say goodbye to my half-sisters. We moved to another state and I cut off my mom and her entire family, and that was 8 years ago. I didn't hear anything from them in the last 8 years. I still live with my aunt and her husband and her daughter. They are nice and kind people. Also, now I have a job and I'm on my way to becoming a software engineer so I can say that I'm doing good. But yesterday I get a voicemail from my mother and she wants to meet with me and to speak with me, and was also crying. I haven't responded yet. Should I call her or should I just block her? I can't decide. Any advice would be appropriate. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Her personality hasn't magically changed. Life isn't like the movies. Perhaps her husband has left her and she needs money for herself and the girls. I suspect money is involved somehow. Regardless, she hasn't changed. She was a weak, cruel woman all your life and she still is a weak, cruel woman. I agree, she probably heard that OP will be going into a career with good money-making potential. OP has made a life for himself and seems happy. He should not let his mother, and I use that term loosely, disturb his peace. Do what you want. If you don't want to talk, just don't answer. If you do, you can send her a message. Hell, you can also tell her to fuck off and not contact you. Part of me wants to meet her to tell her about my achievements. You can't completely hate your mom. And another reason is I never got my answer why she let her husband abuse me, why she never stood up for me. I want an answer. Do you think that she would tell me this time if I met her? I have this bad feeling that she's trying to get in touch because she found out that you're about to be a software engineer. She probably wants money. It's up to you if you want to talk to her, but don't start giving her money. Thank you. I won't give her money. She already blew what my grandparents left for me. Edit. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Here's some more. I haven't told my aunt about mom's voicemail. We'll do so tonight after dinner. My dad died when I was maybe 3, and yes, he tried to meet me, but she never let him. She used me to get money from my dad. And his parents also left me some money. Now for the updates. Update 1. So much has happened in the last 4 days, so I thought I would write an update, so here's what happened. So I spoke with my mom and also my aunt and uncle the day after the post. I told them about her voicemail, and they were so understanding about my emotional situation. I told them that their opinion is the most important for me. I asked my aunt about my mom's friends, so she called her and invited her to dinner last night. She told us that her husband and his sons kicked her out because she argued with her older daughter-in-law. Her husband filed for divorce, and she will not be getting anything from him because he had her sign a prenup. Her daughter refused to help her and is now living with her father. She's now all alone and is living in her parents' house. Her friend said that she knows that I'm engaged and perhaps wants to meet me because she is sorry for the way that she treated me. After listening to all this, I asked my aunt what she thinks. She said that she doesn't trust her and she is trash, but will understand if I want to meet her. My uncle said that I should just meet her without looking for any kind of relationship. So after giving it some thought, I decided to meet her. I messaged her telling her that I was ready to meet her, but my aunt is also going to be there and that she must come alone. She said okay, and I messaged her today that we will meet on Sunday in a restaurant. She said that she will book a table. As many of you suggested, this restaurant is always crowded. So that's what happened in the last couple of days. I will write an update if anything else happens. Thank you again. Update 2. Yesterday, when we get to the restaurant, she was with her other friend, and when she saw my aunt with me, she freaked out and started to cry loudly, saying that my aunt stole me from her and that that's the reason I didn't acknowledge her, and also that she used a black magic to control me. The list goes on. Everyone at the restaurant was looking at us like we were criminals. Some of them started to record a video. It was so embarrassing. I realized I will never get the closure from her that I'm looking for. When we left in the car, my aunt was crying, saying that she failed again to protect me. She knew it would happen like this, and that's why she didn't want me to meet with her at all. But she did so for my sake. I told her I will never meet with her or speak with her ever again. I blocked her number on everything. And this morning I got no information. So yes, that's what happened. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you when you guys told me not to meet up with her. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for hesitating to invest in my wife's continued education after continuous credible threats to divorce, leave me, and take me for everything? This is just within the last week on our youngest daughter's birthday, but we haven't been okay for a while. She'll typically argue with me about the hue of the sky. Don't let that color your opinion. I'm not flawless. Either way, on both Monday and Tuesday, she launched into tirades about how prepared she is to leave me, how her family is ready with lawyers, how I won't leave her because it's cheaper to keep her, and how she'll take me for everything because I'm employed, and she's been unemployed for a decade since before justifying it as a stay-at-home mother when our oldest was born 4 years into that. Meanwhile, we have nothing but debt, rent our home, and don't even own the car we lease. My salary is strong, but her savings are nowhere. But again, don't let that color your opinion. We've had some colds in the last few days, so obviously we've been more gentle and delicate since those aggressions. Today, she started implying that there are some other courses that she can take to make her a more viable candidate while she looks for work now that our oldest is in school full-time. This wouldn't be the first time that I've invested in her education for work, including various certificates that were supposed to achieve the same goal. I've asked her for years to stop wasting time with certificates and truly pursue a more meaningful degree, including an offer to figure out law school costs, and we keep getting nickel and dime with these 12-week courses that go nowhere. Saying the quiet part, the last time she was in school, I was also working from home during the pandemic, and her writing assignments became my writing assignments. Caring for the kids and household became solo tasks while also working because she needed to study. She's not a great student, and her education usually means even more work for me. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to invest in any of that when we haven't maturely discussed her latest threats? We still share a home and a bed, but it hasn't been talked about. And this isn't the first time, but I thought we had an agreement after a recent heart-to-heart about how these threats have to stop, and she went right back to them. I told her I need to know what's real before I understand what we need to invest in because she wants me to budget daycare and childcare for her youngest while she's unemployed, wants to move since she doesn't like her current apartment, knows that we have considerable debt since her last move that needs to be managed before a landlord or bank reviews her finances again. I'm trying to balance being open about her household with someone who continuously threatens to rip it apart. And now I'm somehow wrong for hesitating to even discuss another continued education program when she's told me that she's actively considered and discussed and made plans for a future without me. She says she wants to think about what I said. And now for some advice. What the F are you doing still married to her? She already told you that you're headed for divorce. Believe her and get a lawyer and file the papers. Your marriage is over, dude. Right? Wondering the same thing. If I ever disrespected my husband to the degree that it sounds like, we would either be divorced or in serious couples counseling along with private. Not the a-hole for this, but TA for dealing with her for this long. She obviously sees you guys getting divorced, so I would try to get ahead of it. Why are you letting her control your life like you have no say? Time to take charge of your life. You think she will stop with the threats? Not a chance. My ex used to do that. Finally, I told him he had to go. He had been threatening to leave for years, so I said, get out. Take control of your life. Let her deal with her own problems. Story 3. Update. Am I the a-hole for saying I never would have chosen my husband as the father of my child? Original post. I, 37 female, and my husband Liam, 30 male, have 2 children. I'm currently pregnant with our third and last. Liam is a wonderful husband and a fantastic father. I was out at a brunch with a few friends of mine and I was telling them a funny story about my cravings and how Liam had made a cake from scratch for it. A friend of a friend, Paige, said that I chose so well and that she should have put as much thought as I did in choosing him. I have a reputation for being really thorough and thinking things out before doing anything, the responsible one. I told her that I never would have chosen Liam to be the father of her first child, but I am so grateful he was. I was very lucky. Our pre-marriage life was messy. I was with another man, Dave. Dave was a steady, reliable man, and we had been together for years. Dave made a new friend who was Liam, and I could not help but absolutely hate him. According to him, Liam made Dave feel young again, and he was desperate to reclaim the sense of youth he lost by being responsible since he was young. He spent all of his time with Liam and other bros. Dave would spend every night out partying until 2 or 3 a.m. He spent his entire paycheck and some of my paychecks on wrestling videos and online gambling. He bought a motorcycle, used our savings to buy crypto. He shaved his head bald. The last straw was him spending $20,000 of my savings to travel. Throughout this, Liam was incredibly disrespectful to me. Dave broke up with me when I asked him to stop hanging out with Liam and his other friends. He immediately moved in with a girl I had concerns about. I felt deeply hurt, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was hurting someone in return. I was miserable, out of my mind, and called Liam over. I wanted to ruin their friendship like he ruined my relationship. He was annoyed at Dave for something else and was down for anything. I woke up the next morning realizing that I made a huge mistake, but it was incredible. Unfortunately, my decision caught up to me and I got pregnant. Ironic since I always wanted children, but I was told I was infertile. Both Liam and I were against children out of wedlock, and we had a small wedding. I was ready to grit my teeth and make the best of our marriage, but surprisingly, Liam turned out to be an incredible partner and father. If it was a mistake, it was the best mistake of my life. Paige was very offended that I said Liam wouldn't have been my choice initially. She said that I was making myself superior. She said that she lost respect for me and would never talk to me again. She also messaged Liam to tell him what I said. Was what I said really that bad? Edit. I should probably be clearer, but I am a lot more unfiltered on Reddit than here. I just said that while we knew each other before, Liam was basically a one-night thing, which is true. My other friends know the truth because a few of them were there when it all unfolded. Dave was furious at first, which is understandable, but we are cordial to each other. I did not get my money back, unfortunately. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole I'd imagine. Liam feels the same, lol. That is a wild story, but the best part is it worked out for you guys. Lose Paige as a friend. That's a weird response she had, IMO. It was wild, but I think it worked out because we were honest with each other. That doesn't stop Liam from still teasing me that I only hated him because I wanted him but couldn't have him. Totally untrue. His obnoxious behavior outweighed his pretty boy looks. But people change and show either parts of their personality. By the time of our wedding rolled around, I thought we could be friends. By the end of the year, I was head over heels in love. I think your joint oops also made both of you take a long, hard look at each other. I don't think Liam was the downfall of your other relationship. It was simply the burning match that set the fuse on fire. The fuse that had been braided and was already there to burn, you two just didn't know, or maybe you didn't. Paige is jelly. That's super obvious. You fell into an ideal situation, and that's rare and enviable in a good way. Instead of being a good friend, she's bashing you in whatever way that she can. Yeah, a lot of folks are thinking that she wants Liam, but I think she's just jealous of OP's good luck. Paige has already been trying to find a successful relationship and can't, and to hear OP didn't even want the great husband and father she ended up with makes her so mad she can't think straight. Your friend expressed that she was envious of your husband you chose. You told the story of how crappy and mean your husband was before you dated. You spoke about him being the reason for you and someone else you were previous with for years breaking up, as in he likely knew Dave and the girl he moved in with were together while he was with you. Maybe he even knew Dave was stealing your money. He wasn't kind to you during this time at all totally valid reasons to not initially wish he was the father of your child. Who would have thought that someone who behaved in such a way and encouraged others to behave in that way would be a good partner or a present father? You hooked up with him for the sole purpose of ruining his friendship with Dave the way he ruined your relationship with Dave. You got pregnant on a revenge hookup. Regardless of the past, you and your husband are currently in a really good place. Your friend immediately decided that she no longer wanted to be friends with you and jumped at the opportunity to cause a rift in your current happy marriage to a man who she wants. In conclusion, she's not concerned with being friends with you, she wants your husband. When others say watch out for her, it's because this is common. Mate poaching. Married men are often more attractive to women. She's already expressed interest and envy. She's already shown that with the slightest bit of spark, she'll try to start a fire. You didn't say anything unreasonable, but she took that what she thought was a golden opportunity and sprinted for it. It was so easy for her to drop you at the opportunity to gain favor and get with your husband. She may be fun and funny, she may be enjoyable to be around, but she is not your friend. She's going to be looking for any opportunity to run and whisper something in your husband's ear, true or not. Without knowing it or even consenting to it, you're seemingly just entered into a silent tug of war. She's the kind of woman who will leap at the opportunity to do all the things you aren't doing to prove to your husband that he deserves better. Don't share any information about your marriage with her. Don't take any of her advice. Now for the update. I got a lot more attention on my post than I thought I would. Long story short, Paige apologized for overstepping and we are all good now. Paige reached out to me. She was having a rough time in her own relationship situation and felt I was being ungrateful. I accepted her apology. However, I don't expect us to have a close friendship in the future. I also checked up on Liam. As I've said before, I adore my husband and do not want him to feel bad. I asked him if he felt hurt by what he said. He says yes. He was deeply offended and I should make up for it with 1,000 kisses plus interest starting right now. The worst thing in my life right now is my baby kicking into my ribs. I miss being able to breathe without a foot in my organs. Several people have questioned how I got the reputation of being thoughtful when I made really bad personal decisions. Honestly, I'm very responsible, organized, and all around a prepared person, but I am dependent upon having a stable, boring life and was unequipped to have my personal life fall apart. If I think back to what I was like 10 years ago, I had a good amount of savings, a comfortable career, and close friends. I also had a fiance who I'd been with for years and who had changed into a person I no longer recognized. Someone who lied to me, stole from me, and cheated on me. Liam actually was the one who called me after Dave broke up with me. He told me about how Dave had lied to him and used him in lies and was with other women. I was still in shock. He came over to give me some things that Dave had left at his apartment in case it was mine. Some of it was mine and some of it was Dave's trash. I sobbed and blamed him and he took it and apologized. He kissed me. I said I wanted to ruin his life like he ruined mine. Liam saw Dave as his best friend. He also had some trust issues, so lying is off the table. Their friendship was already ruined, but I didn't know that. I was not good at getting revenge, at least spontaneously. We didn't use protection. I have been told I was infertile. My previous 2 partners, my old boyfriend and Dave, never got me pregnant after years. I was ignorant and was told that infertile doesn't mean sterile. I still had a chance of getting pregnant. Having a child out of wedlock is very uncommon and looked down upon even more than divorce. Because of that, shotgun weddings are actually pretty common. I was excited to be a mother and Liam was, to my surprise, excited to be a father. We decided to put aside our old grievances, be friends, and raise our child happily. I can say that I started falling in love with him through my pregnancy, but it was solidified after my birth. It was traumatic and I tore badly. Liam was such an attentive husband and father. We fell together so nicely it was hard to notice when he became my soulmate. Part of the reason I hated Liam was that the way we expressed love was too similar. I needed quality time and attention, and he needed quality time and affection. There's no limit to the amount of time we want to spend with loved ones. Dave was an introvert who valued time alone. When it was Dave in the middle, I felt as though Liam was stealing my limited time with him. Now it feels nice to have a partner that values and expresses the same kind of love. We are around each other constantly. Liam needs at least an uninterrupted hour a day and more on the weekends of my attention solely on him. We could spend entire days just snuggling and kissing. We have an equal partnership. I do take on more of the mental load in terms of finances, investments, doctor's appointments, etc., but Liam acknowledges that and takes on more of a physical load. He insists that I do more while I think he does. I'm not saying either of us are perfect or that our relationship is, but I am very happy with my lot in life. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.